to Starr Soap's channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. My name is MissCrystalStarr and I'm the Queen Soaper here at Starr Soaps. That's if you didn't know me, but a lot of you do know me because you're my beautiful subbies, my wonderful Starr Soapies that shine brightly in my sky. So if you're not one of those, hit that subscribe button. I mean, have you been living under a rock? Become a member of the StarrSoaps family and feel the soapy love. And don't forget to ring the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a cool groovy video like this one. So today I'm going to be making oatmeal milk and honey soap. That's right, it's going to have colloidal oatmeal, it's going to have coconut milk, and it's going to have manuka honey. Yum, scrumptious. It's a really nice soap for dry skin, for eczema. I've actually had a lady who said it really helped her with her back knee. Shh, but it works. And it smells delicious, like a big steamy bowl of porridge. Yum. If you don't know what porridge is, Google it. So come along with me and I'm going to show you how to make this oatmeal milk and honey soap. Squee! Okay, so first things first, I'm giving my oils and milk a good mix here. What I do is when I've mixed my lye solution into my water, and when I've mixed the caustic soda into the water and it's all hot, I then heat the oils up, so they'll be about the same temperature as the lye. Then I add frozen milk and blend it into the oils, and then I let everything cool down to room temperature, or about 22 degrees Celsius depending on the day. And here we are, we're adding our cooled lye water to our cooled or room temperature oils and milk. So everything is going to be around about the same temperature, somewhere in that range of about 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. You have to be patient to soap like this, but I've had the best success soaping this way. So this is my method and this is how I like to do it. So now that the lye has been mixed in, I'm going to use the stick blender, give it a bit of a burp, and then blend and bring everything together. And look at that beautiful spiral of emulsification. It looks gorgeous. So this does tend to slightly scorch the milk. As you can see, you get this very light tan colour, but it doesn't smell. And that's what I'm really looking for. If it gets that ammonia smell, you don't want to carry on. It's not going to be a nice soap. So I've learned to use not too much and to keep things just sort of at the right temperature. So, I mean, there are a lot of different ways to add milk into your soaps. And I'll leave a couple of links below with different ways I've done it in the past. Not always with milk, sometimes with fresh produce. But you can freeze it and then you can rest that in an ice bath and you can slowly add the lye to your frozen milk if you want to have 100% milk instead of just doing a water discount and adding a little bit of milk like I do. And yeah, and you can also add the milk at trace in liquid form. So once you've brought your soap to trace, then you can go ahead and add a little bit of your milk if you want to do it that way. Again, doing a water discount, and again, making sure that your milk you're adding is around about the same temperature as your soap batter. That way hopefully nothing scorches. But you know, milk soaps can be a little bit tricky. It's not something you want to try as your first soap project that you ever do, guys. So if you're a beginner, you might want to put this on your list of things to try once you're feeling a little bit more confident at making that soap behave. So I'm now just separating out my soap into some different portions. I've got some honey mixed into some oil here that I'm going to add into the main part of the soap now. And I'm also going to come back and add some colloidal oatmeal in there as well. So that is the manuka honey with some olive oil that's going in right now. And I've got two jugs with different colours. One is my mocha mica that makes a really lovely dark brown, and the other's going to just have some titanium dioxide and be white. So the jug that is white will have no fragrance added to it because the fragrances I'm using contain vanillin and can discolour the soap. So I really don't want that white to be affected. I want the white to stay bright and I want the other colours to slowly tan. So here's my colloidal oatmeal. I got mine from Pure Nature. They're a soap and candle supply that's available to New Zealanders. So if you're in New Zealand and you want to know another place you can get different supplies for your soap making, then check out Pure Nature. So I'm just giving it a bit of a mix with the spatula here, but I will have to come back through with the stick blender to get that colloidal oatmeal to incorporate thoroughly into the soap batter. And I'm going to mix with a spatula to get these colours dispersed because they don't really need the stick blender. The mica just blends beautifully into the soap, and look at that lovely colour. And I can go ahead and add some fragrance to this because it's already a dark brown. So that's kind of neat. The fragrances I'm using are a blend. One is called Oatmeal Milk and Honey, but it smells very strong of almonds to me personally. And the other one is Cinnamon Vanilla, which I really like. It's just a really lovely warm vanilla scent that perfectly represents the Oatmeal Milk and Honey soap. So I really love it, and I used to only use it, but I've found that I like the blend of the two. So I'm just mixing the titanium dioxide into the jug now, and I'm just going to add a little bit more titanium dioxide in there because I'm not quite happy with that shade. I want it to really pop. I want it to be white, and I want it to be an accent colour that goes against the plain base with all of the lovely manuka honey and the milk and the oatmeal in it, and also this dark colour will be the other accent to sort of stand out against the base. So I'm just bringing my stick blender in now to give the base a really good mixy. We want to try to make sure that that colloidal oatmeal is really thoroughly dispersed and mixed into everything, and there aren't going to be clumps of it. At the same time though, we don't want to mix too much and end up with a super thick soap, so there's a balance there. I think I've reached it. I'm quite happy with that now. It's not too thick, as you can see. It's still quite watery, and hopefully I've got all of that colloidal oatmeal blended through the soap. So now I'm just adding my fragrance. This is the cinnamon vanilla, and I already added the oatmeal milk and honey, but I cut that, sorry. I really like this blend. I've actually got a little bit of French vanilla that I'm putting in there as well, just to bring up the sweetness. And that cinnamon spiciness, it's just brilliant. It makes me think of a lovely big steaming bowl of porridge on a cold winter's morning. So in New Zealand, porridge is a fairly common breakfast, and it is usually just rolled oats that has been cooked with a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar, and it's getting that salt and sugar balance is really key. You definitely want that bit of salt. I know that sounds weird, but you also want that sugar. Then we serve it piping hot, and we add milk, and it sort of floats in the milk, and then you can add a little bit of golden syrup or some sugar. I tend to use soft brown sugar on mine. It's my favorite. And then you dig in, and it's a hearty, sweet and savory, delicious breakfast. It's sort of similar to what you Americans have that you call grits, except for the sweetness. Grits, I think, are usually savory. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So now I'm going to go ahead and add most of my base into the molds and just about fill them right up before I'm going to pour my accent colours in. And I'm going to be holding the jugs up high when I pour in the accent colours so that I get them to penetrate down into the soap better. So if you want the soap to sit, if you want those colours to just sit on the very top, then pour very close to the surface. But if you want it to drop right down, pour from a bit higher up, just like this, and that way you guarantee the colour is going to go down and into the soap and not just sit on the top. Again, this is going to depend on the consistency of your soap. If you have really thick soap batter, it's going to be really difficult for the colours to drop down. You've got to have everything at just the right consistency. And I've been doing this for quite a while now, so I like to think I've mastered it, but there are still times when the soap catches me off guard. So now that I have poured the colours in, and I've kept a little bit back of the two colours for the top of the soap, I'm going to scrape the last of the base into there, and then I can tap it down to release any air bubbles before I come back through and use my hanger tool to give it a beautiful hanger swirl inside. and then it's going to have really cool surprise patterns in every bar. And this is one of my favorite parts of this whole process now. I love cutting the bars and seeing what swirl we got. It's like Christmas morning. So I'm scraping every last little bit of soap off my hanger tool, and then I'm cleaning my hanger tool before I come back through with these colours, like I said, and line them across the top. Now, I'm not going to be too particular about making perfect lines here because I'm going to be swirling, but I really do want that pattern of the white and the dark and the white and the dark. This will make my final swirl really, really pop and stand out. So this is something I love doing. I don't always leave enough soap back to do it, but I really love swirling it. Like the final stage with the skewer where I come through and swirl it, I really feel like an artist. And I grew up in a family where my brother was the artist, not me. So it's really nice to get that feeling like, look at my art that I'm creating. So here is that magical moment where I get to come through with the skewer and swirl the top. It sits overnight and we're back again the next day to cut the soap bars. Now I've put real whole oats on the top of my soap and I don't want them to cause drag lines through every bar of soap. So I'm lying the whole loaf on its side before I cut it. This way the oats will not get pulled through the bar and leave the horrible lines, and you'll get to see a nice swirl. Because as we talked about, that's what I'm excited about. Oh my gosh! The first swirl is a butterfly! That is so beautiful! The white is not as white as I would have hoped, but as the soap cures and darkens a little bit with that vanillin content, I should find that it gets darker on the base and that the white stands out even more. I really, really love this soap. I always have a bar of it myself. This one and pumpkin chai, they're my personal favourites. And I love how the design has worked out. It's still simple, and hopefully it's not so pretty that people look at it and they think I don't want to use that. I'm really trying to aim for that with my soaps at the moment. I want them to be beautiful still, but I really want people to look at it and think, I want to use that soap. And I get a lot with my cake soaps, my cupcakes or whatever like that. They think, oh, it's going to look so beautiful in my bathroom and I'm just going to always have it there to look at. I'm like, hey guys, I'll make more. You've got to use it. And speaking of using it, if you would like to get your hands on some Starr Soaps, please flick me an email, StarrSoaps@gmail.com. I'll send you a current inventory list with all of the beautiful products that I have in stock right now, and I can send you pictures and you can watch the videos of them being made right here on Starr Soap's channel. And shipping overseas isn't too bad. I'm working on that as well. So, you know, not just limited to New Zealand. If you're in Australia, America, Canada, anywhere, please hit me up, send me an email and get your hands on some beautiful Starr Soaps. I really hope you enjoyed watching me make these soaps because I love making them. And here we have the final soaps. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, guys. I really love you so much and I can't express it enough. Everything that you do, all your little comments, all your little likes and support, when you come over to the Starr Soaps group on Facebook, the Starr Soaps Family, and you share your pictures, you bring big smiles to my face. So if you're not already and you want to be, hit that subscribe button and become a member of our Starr Soaps family. Come over to Facebook and join the family and share your pictures. I love to see what you create. And speaking of beautiful creations that were shared on Facebook, this week I'd like to highlight Elaine Shepherd and her gorgeous soap petit fours. That's what they look like to me. Little tiny cakes covered in soapy berries, beautiful piping, glitter and adornments. And I love them. They're absolutely gorgeous. Good job, Elaine. So yeah, come on over and join our group and share your picture and I can highlight you in one of my videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.